Thank you for watching the Exploration in Leadership Series Part 1, the final project, where we are exploring leadership with special guest Malobi Sampson II.
Hello. So I'm here just to answer a couple of questions around leadership.
How do you help new members understand the culture of your church?
One of the things that I like to do is first befriend and get to know them. I think that you can't expect to just have buy-in or investment from people who it's their first time there. So I think first establishing the relationship. Once you've established a relationship, I think the next thing that I like to do is really get to understand where their thoughts and mindset is on different things. And then from there, I'm like, oh, okay, well, let me explain what we do here and the why. And so the biggest thing that I try to do to help with understanding culture is to attach the why when I explain things. So,
What do you think is the greatest thing that derails most leaders in your organization?
one of the biggest things that I think that derails a lot of the people who are in leadership is lack of accountability. I think that probably is one of the biggest things. If you have someone who you're connecting with or constantly in a relationship with where you have to talk and discuss different things or your mindset or regularly meeting, that helps with making sure that your thought processes or your plans or where you're headed is it makes sense. And I don't think that there's enough of that in the leadership side.
What is the biggest challenge facing church leaders today?
Is that a lot of people coming into the church now are from a place where they haven't grew up. They didn't grow up going to church, and as a result, they don't know a lot of what's going on inside of the church. Right, and so that kind of clashes with the mindset of people who've been in the church for a long time. So it's almost like I've been a part of this organization for years, and now there's new people coming in who haven't been, and the why for the why and reason behind us doing so many of the things that we do for so many years is now being challenged. And I think that challenge is good, but I also think it can be bad if you're stuck in the mindset of, well, this is just what we do. So it's causing change on all fronts, and I think that's a challenge. I think the other challenge is with outreach, and it's this concept of sharing, because I think a lot of people are so used to being on their phones and having immediate access to information and things. And so the only real place that we're staying for long periods of time are work and home. So one of the challenges is making it appealing and appeasing and stressing the importance or explaining and conveying why it is important for people to come, because I think when you do that, it'll increase retention, it'll increase the importance of it, it'll increase the understanding. So those two things.
Where do the greatest ideas come from in your church or organization?
I think the greatest ideas in church come from conversations. And so when people present challenges or they present questions or different ideas, then in those rooms, in those spaces, in those think tanks, if you will, really great ideas are formed. And from those ideas, there's a sort of a jump to try and meet the challenge that those questions present. So
What are you doing to ensure that you continue to grow as a leader?
for my own personal growth in leadership, there are several things that I do. One of them being that I try and sit and gain the information that's being shared across, whether it's the pulpit by the speakers, whether it's a Wednesday service, whether it's an activity. I try and become a participant and not always be hands-on. The second thing that I do is continuing to get educated in different areas. So whether that's school, whether that's at my job and they offer different trainings, or I'm picking up the things from my job to then transplant into other areas. I'm always looking for the spaces that I occupy to become an additional space for me to learn and grow in some capacity, that then take back to the other important areas of my life. So
Do you set aside time to cast vision to your team and or other leaders?
so a vision meeting. I do have vision meetings with my team. Um, And I'm learning more and more the importance of continuing to have that vision conversation, because if it starts and stops one time, then people forget, then you don't have the accountability that I was speaking about that kind of deters all of us. You begin to miss a lot of the important pieces. So I definitely do have a vision. It's supremely important because you can't know where you're going if there isn't a time that you sit and discuss where you're going. And I think people want to know some sense of direction. They don't have to know all the details. I'm learning that. But they want to know that you're headed towards something. So yes, vision is important.
So thanks for joining me on this grand exploration in leadership.